Hi, I'm Callum Zilietto and we're here today at the Churchill in Portman Square, one of Hyatt's best hotels, to interview Dawn Turner, the HR Director of UK and Ireland. Hi Dawn, thank you for taking the time out to speak with us. And my first question really is about Great Place to Work recognising you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And really, what separates you, do you think, as a great employer?
I think the main point for us is the authenticity, which obviously is very easy to say, but from our perspective, we make our interactions with our employees authentic and genuine, and people are at the core of every single thing that we do, and that's what we aim for really across the board.
Brilliant. So it isn't just in the UK you were recognised. Globally, in different locations, you got the Great Place to Work recognition. How have you created a consistent culture that has been worth that recognition? I mean,
Hyatt, we operate very much as, we were a family company originally, and that ethos has kind of continued to run through. Obviously, as companies grow, it's harder to maintain. But we very much believe within Hyatt that we have a guiding principle. So from the top, there's a guiding principle, which is filtered down, and then we adapt to local culture, and that's really important for us. People are people and have very different needs, and we adapt to their needs.
As a hotel, obviously the idea is you take care of your guests. You know, it's a very nice hotel, so take care of them in a very nice way. But how does that continue through to how you take care of your employees? Like, what kind of benefits do you offer your employees?
From our perspective, people spend a long time at work, and obviously we're a 24-hour operation. We're very much a family environment, and we take care of our employees. So the benefits are a full range. Whilst they're in the hotel, we have employee restaurants. We provide food. We have locker rooms with showers. For people that are non-uniformed, then obviously their business attire is cleaned too. And we also offer discounts to use those facilities. And we very much have the approach that if an employee comes and stays with us, an employee from Hyatt, from another property, we treat them as a VIP. They're flagged on our VIP list, and they're treated as, you know, as a top guest should be, because they're experiencing it. We offer 12 complimentary nights at other Hyatts each year for each employee, which is a very nice benefit. And that allows people to travel and experience hotels that perhaps they wouldn't be able to afford to otherwise. And some very nice destinations too. A lot of our employees that I know of, I can think of several over the years that, you know, they've kind of saved up their nights and planned it accordingly so that they get married, they have it as their honeymoon, and, you know, they travel round. There's one particular one I can think of, a young lady called Amy. She was a team leader with us in Birmingham, and she went to the States for her honeymoon and literally travelled kind of all around California and stayed at the Hyatts there. Other benefits, we have something called High Star, which is a recognition programme, and it has a very broad prescriptive, I suppose, and it can be adapted to local culture. Again, something that you can adapt to the needs to recognise the individuals. And so it's a points-based system, and people are rewarded for going the extra mile, which again can vary depending on the culture and particular job role as to what the extra mile is, and they can then exchange those points for gifts or for, in some case, vouchers. And for example, here at this property, they can exchange the points at the end of the year for bonus bonds. And then also when they achieve certain kind of number of points, so 12 points, 24 points, they get an extra reward of vouchers for the restaurant, the main restaurant in the hotel, and also stays also in the hotel. So they can bring their, you know, their guests with them, if you like. So maybe their partner or a friend, which we try and look at it that because of the nature of our industry, the partners and the family that supports the individual, you know, we work on sociable hours sometimes, they support a lot and they're a big part of our environment, really. So when they go overseas and they stay at Hyatts, which in some cases can be quite luxurious, you know, they're being treated too. So you kind of, the partner gets the added benefit, really. So
yeah.
A lot of our benefits are sometimes soft benefits, which it's hard to kind of put any value on, really. Of course, we're very lucky we work in a very nice environment, which is a lot to be said. We have quite diverse departments within the hotel. So, for example, we have an engineering department, which a lot of people wouldn't necessarily expect. And a lot of people that work here in engineering, in Hyatt as a whole, sometimes their backgrounds are factory environments. And for them, they come into an environment that's clean, that's warm.
Yeah.
And I know that's quite basic, but it's very different. Something else that we do, when somebody starts work with us, we send them a congratulations on your new job card. Very simple, quite straightforward. But I remember actually an engineering guy coming and saying, do you know, my wife was actually wowed by that. I think that's amazing. Thank you very much. Because he felt, of course, everybody gets a contract of employment, but he felt, you know, they've sent me a card. That's lovely. So, and things like that don't cost very much, but the actual way it's perceived by the individual employees is just to personalise it a little bit more. So that's at the kind of the root of what we do, to have a genuine personal relationship as much as we can with all of our employees, which of course when you have a large amount of employees can be quite difficult, really.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But that's our aim, and that's where we want to build on, to put ourselves in their shoes, to empathise with them and try and see things from their perspective.
One of the things you do is not just take care of your own employees and your guests, but you also look after the homeless.
We do.
In some of the CSR stuff that you do.
Yeah.
Just explain a little bit more
Okay.
about that.
So both of the London properties work with local homeless charities. So the Churchill, we work with the West London Mission, and as at Liverpool Street works with Providence Row. Here we've worked for a couple of years with the West London Mission, and it can vary from anything from going to serve breakfast there to help with redecorating. We had a group of fan managers that did kind of a sleepover is the wrong word, but they slept rough basically for the night to experience it. And I know from speaking to them, they said it was cold. I think it was November time, but to really experience it. And then we also, Hyatt, have a community grant programme, and we applied on their behalf. They were awarded last year a $20,000 award to West London Mission. So that was something that they, you know, obviously were able to utilise. We also offer work experience for those people as well. And we had somebody here on work experience initially. And, you know, for a few months, and this was a homeless person who, obviously, for whatever reason, because people end up in that situation for various reasons,
of course,
was living at that shelter. And he came here for a few months' work experience, and then eventually, I guess in his words, he feels like he belongs here, and he has said to us he feels safe. It's a safe environment, a family environment, and he started working here initially just part-time, and has gradually worked up. And actually he has moved into sheltered, kind of supported housing, I suppose, in the community. He has a support worker from the West London Mission, but he's just about to start renting his own place.
Wow.
And that's quite amazing that somebody can turn their life around. Now, we've supported him very gently from our perspective. Just, he was looking for somewhere to rent, he identified it, and just to guide him, what does he need to do? How does he approach it? What does he need a reference? etc., etc. Things he wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
And our department, Care for Colleagues, is our department, and we have guided him and just supported him through that process. And I know I was talking earlier to, literally it's just kind of happening now, and I was talking earlier to one of my colleagues that's been supporting him, and she said he feels safe here. That's, you know, he can kind of be himself, and he's seen this as his safe environment, and of course it's helped him to, as I said, turn his life around.
So it's pretty clear. I think I'm kind of understanding why you were recognised as a great place to work. Mm-hmm. The family feel is definitely there, mm-hmm. but recognition and these kind of things, it's always an ongoing thing. Mm-hmm. And so, what have you got, or what do you plan to do to make sure that, say, next year, in the next 5 years, you're still getting the recognition or still classed as a great place to work?
Mm-hmm. I suppose we want to continue the authentic approach, the genuine approach, and the only way really to do that is to continuously speak to your people. We have employee engagement survey. We have an employee engagement survey that we use with Gallup. We're also exploring in this particular property a slightly different type of survey. So we've increased the number of our surveys. We used to do it on an annual basis, and now we're looking at doing it every 6 months with Gallup. So it'd be more of a pulse kind of survey. And in between those, we also conduct, I mentioned empathy interviews previously, to find out what people really feel. And it really is about what they feel and think about things, because you can have wonderful initiatives that sound great on paper, but it's how they're received and perceived by the individual. If they don't value them, then you may as well not bother. So it's to continue that dialogue that's real, I suppose. That's always one of my words, to kind of make it real and have a genuine intention behind it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us, Dawn. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you all the luck in the future.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank
Good
you.
to meet you.